So I get up in the morning, let us tape The Psychology of Selling. For some reason, I don't know why, I put it in. It was a cassette tape. I put it in the thing, in the player, and I listened to it. I'll never forget. It was on my bedroom. I sat on my bedroom floor with the cassette tape player, and I listened to this thing. I couldn't believe it. Gives me the chills. I literally, my life changed in an instant.
Welcome to the Rethink Sales Show. My name is Derek Kelly. I am joined by Jim Shorkey. And Jim, stories are powerful. And what I wanted to talk about today was, do you remember a time when you sold a car and what that story was like? How did you start the conversation with that customer? What was your approach in the sales process? What ended up happening? Do you have anything that you recall? In my head, you've been selling cars like on the show floor for decades.
No, yeah, it was really only at best a year and a half. I don't even think that long. A year, and then that's summertime. So about a year and 3-4 months.
But you watched salesperson after salesperson after salesperson.
Oh, absolutely. And I still taught the customers. I would help to sell cars. If the salesperson could only get so far, I would then step in and talk to the client and see what I could do to resolve the deal. And sold many cars that way as well. So I was always selling. Yeah. I also called back every single customer that came in the dealership and to ask them, to thank them for stopping and ask them how they were treated.
So
and
rare, Jim.
What could I do to sell them a car today? Yeah. And sold a lot of cars that way as well. I was always selling. I never got away from that. But so that is the history of myself in the Jim Shorkey Family Auto Group.
What a story.
That's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah, what a story, though. Yeah. I mean, stories shape culture, right? So that story, I think a lot of people are inspired by your story. I see a lot of people that watch our content say, what inspiring. And you always say, I'm nobody special. I'm nobody special. I think that's true, but
I'm not.
You worked hard and you showed up, and there was a lot of just favor on your life. And,
but I do remember very clearly, I was bankruptcy imminent. I was devastated. I mean, I was embarrassed. I was letting my dad down. I really felt that, like this was his business, this was his bank account, and I messed up big time. And the checks were going to bounce. I remember getting that news of what was going on. I went to the bank directly. And think about this, because this is what I did. I was on their doorstep that morning when I got this information. And I got a hold of Alazar, who was my very close friend. And
I remember exact details.
I do.
Was it cold that morning? What was it like?
No, it was pretty nice. Yeah. But I got Al. We sat down, we talked, and I had to float a loan to get the bank account whole again. Yeah. And I never bounced a check. Never bounced a check. And I also never didn't pay one person, not one penny. I didn't do that. Wow. And so with Al's help, and then with getting involved with Mr. Hamilton and getting the knowledge as to what I should be doing and realizing that I wasn't doing any of that, that's where it progressed. But I remember I had been reading at the time Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, but I really wasn't executing the book like I should have been. With the book, with Mr. Hamilton, with the think tanks, with all the things that I learned, I did turn it around. And we did make money, and we did move away from bankruptcy imminent. So that's the story.
Yeah, what a powerful story.
It is a powerful story, yeah.
Yeah. And so, guys, I just think it's important to hear from Jim, like, what success looks like. I think often people think success looks like, oh, you're just really good at something, and then, boom, you're suddenly an overnight success. But it wasn't overnight for you. I mean,
And I wasn't good at it. Like, obviously, if I was good at it, I wouldn't have been bankruptcy imminent. I was terrible at it. It's one thing to be terrible at doing something. It's another thing to be terrible at it and think you're good at it. Yeah. I was that. I remember Jim Rohn used to talk about what you don't know won't hurt you. What you don't know won't hurt you. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. He talked about, I love Jim Rohn. He said, an apple a day keeps a doctor away. And I'm paraphrasing. He didn't say, he quoted that. An apple a day keeps a doctor away. And he posed this question, well, what if that's true? Well, it turns out it is true. An apple a day does keep the doctor away. And he said, what if you got that wrong? A donut a day keeps the doctor away. No, you got it wrong. That's not true. It's an apple. It's not a donut. And he talked that way. And I don't know if he said donut, whatever he said. It's something like that. I love that guy. He said, what if you got it wrong? What if you thought it was a donut and you started eating your donut every single day?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's probably going to have a different health consequence than the apple. And that's too important to mess up. So the apple a day is true, but it's also a figure of speech. Mm-hmm. So is it a phone call a day? Is it talking to 3 customers a day? Is it sending so many letters per day? Is it training so much per day? What if it was reading 10 pages a day?
Yeah.
You got to read your 10 pages
Yeah.
every single day.
Yeah.
And it turns out that's true.
Yeah. And it's not like you.
Things get better when I get better.
You didn't start this overnight. It sounds like in the late 70s, 78 or so, you started this, right?
No. You got to hear the story. Okay.
Yeah.
Get ready. 1993, February 28th, 1993, I had a really big fight with my brother. And we had a disagreement over business, and I was angry and upset. And my policy back in those days was I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to get drunk because I'm pissed. Yeah. Excuse my French, but that's what I proceeded to do. So never forget this. I go to the bar and I sit down, I order my beer, and this fella who knows Jim Shorkey, he comes up to me and he's talking my ear off. This was the last thing that I wanted. Yak and ask me question after question. And I'm like, oh my God, I just wasn't in the mood. He was a good guy. He wasn't a bad guy. I don't even know his name. But I'm drinking my beer and I'm like, you know what? I got to get out of here. I can't. This is not for me. So I drank maybe 2 beers, 3 beers, and I went home. And I think my wife was shocked that I was home because she knew I was really mad. Probably called her and told her, whatever. So I'm home. And I go to bed. I wake up the next morning. And Amy, her thing that she did back in those days was she would take the kids and she would go to church. And I would sleep in. And I did. I know I'm a heathen, but okay, I'll take that. I'm a heathen. So I sleep in and I get up and I was in a real foul mood. I was still in a bad mood. And there was this tape my wife had this basket in our bathroom that had different little things, books and stuff. And this tape was in that. I had received this tape from Brian Tracy. It was a promotional tape, The Psychology of Selling. And I was decidedly against this kind of thing. What do you mean? I've been selling since I was 5 years old. I don't need this guy's advice or help. So I never listened to it. But for some reason, my wife kept it. Wasn't me. Because she's the thrower outer of stuff. Yeah. I swear to God, if I don't move fast enough, she'll throw me out.
That's how I am, yeah.
You know what I mean? She throws stuff out. But she never threw this out for some reason. So I get up in the morning, look at this tape, The Psychology of Selling. For some reason, I don't know why, I put it in. It was a cassette tape. I put it in the thing, in the player, and I listened to it. I'll never forget. It was on my bedroom. I sat on my bedroom floor with the cassette tape player, and I listened to this thing. I couldn't believe it. Gives me the chills. I literally, my life changed in an instant. I listened to it a couple times. I got so jacked up, and my wife comes home, and she's ready for it to be a bad day, and I'm sky high. She couldn't believe it. And so I said, let's do something special. We went to this pizza place for the kids. What was the one where there was all kinds of games and stuff?
Like Chuck E. Cheese.
Like a Chuck E. Cheese type place. Yeah. So we go there, and we just had a great day. I listened to the tape there on the way back, and I'm all fired up. So I literally go in the next day, and I've got this tape in my hand. And remember, this is 1993. Yeah. This is now March the 2nd, 1993. And I walk into the meeting, the sales meeting. I'm running the sales meeting. And I said to my guys and girls, I don't know what this is. This is something special. And things are going to change around here from this point forward. I guarantee it. And so I go to my mom. My mom was like a guru. She just knew about this kind of stuff. And I said, Mom, where can I get this kind of stuff? And she was a flea market person. She liked to go to the flea market. She would buy stuff, sell stuff. She just enjoyed that. And unbeknownst to me, she handed me this thing that was Dennis Waitley. And I don't know, for those of you that are old like me, these self-development things came a vinyl. It was like a book. And in there would have been 6 cassette tapes and a workbook. And so she hands me this thing. I'll never forget it. There was a tag on the front of it that said $5. And I said to my mom, I said, here, let me pay you for that. She said, no, you just take it. And I listened to that. It was called The Psychology of Winning by Dr. Dennis Waitley. I wore that thing out. And that led me to Zig Ziglar. And that led me to Augmendino. And that led me to Think and Grow Rich. And so now we're 1993 and I'm changing. And I have a drinking problem, decidedly. I never drank more than 2 beers in my whole life, the first one and the last one. I just didn't count the 8 or 9 in between. I was arrested for drunk driving 2 times. I had a bad accident through drunk driving. I was a criminal. I had a drinking problem. And I could sense that self-development was going this way. Alcohol was going this way. In other words, they're on divergent paths. So I knew that I had to change that. So I started cutting back, and I'm cutting back, and I'm not going out with the guys nearly as much, and I'm not drinking nearly as much, and really curbing it. And I was literally, it was Christmas 1993, and that night I'm sitting in front of we went out east for Christmas. I'm at my mother-in-law's house, and I'm sitting in front of the fireplace. I got a glass of wine in one hand, and I got a beer in the other hand. Sounds like a drinking problem, right? I'm sitting there enjoying my wine, enjoying my beer. And I said to Amy, Amy, tomorrow I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to try to not drink for 30 days. And Amy was actually mad at me because she just thought I was full of crap. And why are you bringing this up here? Why are you talking about this? But I really was serious. And so it wasn't a fight or anything, but she just was disgruntled. So the next day I go to day one, and I actually did it. I didn't drink for 30 days. No alcohol. Cold turkey, no tremors, no nothing. This is what I did. And I said, I did that for 30 days. I'm going to try to do it for another 30 days. And I did. And so I got through, I think, I may not have got through the next 30 days, but at some point, I'm either in the second 30 days or I'm about to start the third 30 days. But we're in the van, and Katie and Jimmy are in the back seat, and Amy's in the front seat, and I'm driving. I'm backing out of the driveway, and Katie says to me, Dad, I'm really proud of you that you're not drinking. It always bothered me when you drank. And I'm like, holy cow, put the car in park. I'm now in the middle of the road. And I said, Katie, what did you just say? I couldn't even process it. She says, Dad, I'm really proud of you that you're not drinking. It always bothered me when you drank. I said, Katie, I'm sorry. I said, I never knew that. I never knew that it bothered you. I didn't know that. But I said, I'll tell you what, Kate, I'll never drink again. And I never did. That was it. It was over. And so from there, I kept on my self-development tour. I kept doing it, reading. I like Napoleon Hill, and every morning I listened to Zig Ziglar. I would listen to self-development on the way to work and the way home. I had different things I did, different affirmations I realized. But anyways, so I kept at it, and so I had Think and Grow Rich, but I really wasn't executing. The book is a book of execution. I wasn't doing what Napoleon Hill told me to do. But I'm still progressing forward. I did quit drinking, never drank again. I got better, and I kept getting better. Life got better. My relationship with Amy got better with the kids. I just kept getting better and better. But still, I wasn't where I needed to be. My dad died very suddenly on March 24th, 1996. And if I knew half as much as I thought I knew, I would have been pretty darn smart. I really messed up, and that's when I went to see Mr. Hamilton, and I got involved with him, and he gave me my list, and I joined a think tank, but I also made a promise to Napoleon Hill that I would do exactly what he told me to do. Hence the 162 readings, and I did exactly what he told me to do. One of the things he tells me to do, which I find very few people do. So those of you Think and Grow Richers, one of the things that he tells you to do is to read the chapter on autosuggestion out loud every night with a lot of emotion, and underscore with a pencil the parts that are meaningful to you. Have you ever seen my chapter on autosuggestion? How much of it's highlighted? Almost all of it. It was all relevant. He tells you very few people really know the essence of Think and Grow Rich. They think they do, but they don't. And so he tells you that autosuggestion is the keystone to the arch of this philosophy. As the only principle within the book, Think and Grow Rich, that he makes that statement. He furthermore tells you that all the other principles are to cause you to do autosuggestion. And autosuggestion, by definition, is what are you reading? What are you listening to? What are you viewing? What are you writing? What are you saying to yourself? Who are you hanging out with? And what are your actions? And he tells you that all the other principles are to cause you to do autosuggestion. So it's persisting with autosuggestion. It's deciding to do autosuggestion and on. It's having faith in autosuggestion. Okay. And so if you look at it and you read that chapter, you'll find out that I'm right. It's the only chapter. By the way, it is, in fact, the shortest chapter in the book. And so people tell me, I say, what's the secret to success? They say persistence. No, it's not. They'll tell me focus. No, it's not. The secret to success in Jim Shorkey's parlance is understanding that success is a process. And so you have to figure out what that process is and then go do it. And you have to figure out what the unsuccess process is and then stop doing that. And that's how you get to be incredibly successful. Somebody said to me, let's focus. Focus on what? What's his name? The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Stephen Covey. Yeah.
Stephen Covey says a lot of people climb the ladder of success. Can you visualize this?
Yep.
The ladder is leaning against a building. They climb. They finally get to the top, and they're on top of the building.
Wrong building.
And they realize that it's the wrong building.
Yep.
And they look across the way and they see the right building. They put the ladder against the wrong building.
Yeah. And it's not as easy as just moving the ladder.
That's not. We got to get back down that ladder and start all over again.
Yep.
Yeah. There was only one guy that got close to the answer. Everybody else missed it. You can look it up. I posted that. Yeah. What is the secret to success? Nobody got it. And somebody said consistency. On what? So it's not consistency. Consistently doing the wrong things is going to make you unsuccessful. You're consistent.
Consistently unsuccessful.
You're consistently doing the wrong things. It's all about doing the right things consistently. That's the process. It's all about persisting with the right things. That's how we want to persist. Focusing on the right things. People say you should focus on your goals. You create your goal. Get very clear about that. I agree with that. Get your goal very crystal clear. You should be able to draw a picture of it. But more important than that is what's your reason why? And so once you figure out your reason why, does it make you cry? You got to get emotional. And so we want to keep the goal in front of us and the reasons why in front of us. And then we seek expert counsel, Mr. Hamilton, to get that list. Yes. I'm working on the list right now. I can't make this up. Yeah. It's right there. It's right here. Yeah. It's right here. I'm telling you the secret to success. 2 weeks to a younger brain. I want that. I want that. Now, how do I get there? I'm working on it right now. That's the list. Yes. This is what you want to focus on. This is what you want to persist with. This is what you want to concentrate on. This is what you want to be consistent with. You got to be very careful what you focus on.
Wow,
okay?
Jim, thank you for sharing your success story and all the ups and the downs, right? All the blunders and moments and emotions and feelings and pain and sorrow and joy.
I had a stroke. That's a major setback. The ladder was leaning against the wrong building. 3 brain bleeds, shoulda, coulda, woulda died. And so I've done a lot of studying. First of all, seek expert counsel. I remember I'm laying on the bed. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in the hospital. Dr. Rosellos, who was my surgeon, who cut me open. I said, just to check in, literally poked his head in the door. Jim, how you doing? I said, I'm in a lot of pain. I said, Dr. Rosellos, let me ask you a question. What can I do to fix this thing? And he said, walk a lot, walk a lot. I was like, okay, Dr. Rosellos, you got it. You know how many steps on average I've walked once I get out of the hospital? Average, okay? It wasn't, I didn't have this watch at the beginning. I got this watch. I had the surgery March of that year. And in July, I got this watch. Yeah. From the time I got this watch to right now, my average steps are 14,000 steps per day.
Good for you.
And you just witnessed it.
Yep.
I did a ruck. I had 20-pound dumbbells in my hand and 30 pounds in my rucksack. Yeah. I'm carrying 70 pounds. I'm 67 years old. Yeah. I'm a stroke recovery guy. And I'm carrying these dumbbells around, and I carried them till I was really hurting. It hurt for 6.5 minutes with the dumbbells. And I could barely get them back on the shelf in the garage. So I walk in, I got my rucksack on still, and I continued with the 30 pounds until you came out to get me, didn't you?
Yep.
What was I doing?
You were walking.
And what did I tell you?
Hill.
You said, I'm ready. What'd I tell you?
4 more minutes,
I need
please.
4 more minutes because my goal was 30 minutes. And I had to take some minutes to recover.
Yeah.
I was really tired.
Man, Jim.
So it's on the list.
Your success story, what that looked like for you, the ups, the downs, the emotions, the blunders, the joy, the stroke, and what success looks like for the people that are watching this.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah.
You ain't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning.
And you're enjoying coaching people. You're going through one-on-one coaching with some folks. There's hundreds of people that have gone through the Rethink You program and have great results.
Brings me great joy.
Again, like Jim says, you guys have seen nothing yet. Join us on this journey. Subscribe. Check out the Rethink You 2.0 course. We had Rob Hoffman on several weeks ago who told about how this process changed his life.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jim.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Thank you.